was a wonderful meditation that Anka just gave us. And it's about what we do at Celebrate Life. We celebrate life. We live. We don't cower in the corner. We celebrate. And this is very important. And what I'm going to talk about today is the seventh principle. I've been talking since last June, every time you hear me, about one of the spiritualist principles. And the one I'm talking about today is eternal progress is open to every human soul. And that eternal progress is right now. It's not after we die or something else. We can progress now. We're in eternity now. And so if you haven't heard the former presentations I put on about the spiritualist principles, you can find them on our Celebrate Life YouTube channel, where I talk about each one of them. But this is the most important one. Eternal progress is open to every living soul. Now, when the NSAC defines this, they say, we affirm that the doorway to reformation is never closed against any soul here or hereafter. We just recited that when we were saying our principles. The Spiritualist National Union over in the Great Britain says it this way: we recognize that eternal progress is open to every human soul. Yet the SNU then goes on to state that eternity does not begin at death. Progress is open to all of us now. Any action or intent to change, to promote soul growth and progression, creates a positive reaction. There will always be the opportunity to develop and move forward. No one is ever deprived of the all-embracing love of God. Well, my personal guide from the other side is Helen Bradley, and she's been over there 29 years. 29 years. And she's told me from the other side, she's often told me that we are in eternity right now, and that we can evolve now. And we don't have to wait until death after our transition to evolve. We can evolve now. And considering this, what are we waiting for? Why work on this in the hereafter when we already are in eternity and we can work on it now? And I think about the gratitude that Anka told. She's working on this now. It just suddenly shows up. Here comes everything. We get to do this now. We get to celebrate life now. So to answer this question, I often think about the biblical passage that I learned in my youth. Jesus said, "In my Father's house there are many mansions." Now, while I don't see Jesus as being more of a deity than you or I, nor do I see you or I any less of a deity than him, yet I still see Jesus as an enlightened guide for all of us. So I do listen a lot to what he said. And I have it on good authority from many consciousnesses who survive in the afterlife that, unlike this physical life where we're living now, when we get over there, we rise to the level that we've evolved to. That's the many mansions. Some of them are higher up and some of them are in the basement. Many mansions. So wherever we've evolved to, that's where we're going to be over there. And we will associate with others who are at the same level of evolvement as we are. So it's, the law of attraction. You're going to be together with people who have worked on themselves like you've worked on yourself. So to use a phrase that you'll understand, I want to socially climb as high as possible before I get there. And I can do that here, and so can you. And it's not really social climbing, but yes, it is. It's getting evolved to the level where the people I'm going to be with over there are evolved to this very high level too, and I want to go there. So I see no reason to drag into the afterlife on the bottom rung of the ladder when I can work on it here in this life. And so I'm not going to do all that evolving after I'm dead. I'm trying to do that evolving now. I want to get it done while I'm headed in that direction, right now, in the eternity that we live in now. So if you heard my January 17th address on the principles of compensation and retribution, then you know that when thinking about the hereafter, I rely a lot on what Francis Banks said talking back from the other side in the book, Testimony of Light, a 1967 book, which was received on this side by the medium Helen Greaves. The book is written by Francis Banks in the afterlife, but Helen Greaves received it all here as a medium. And so I rely on what Francis had to say. And I'm reminded that Francis said in that life review, a personal judgment of our life that we all go through, and which the science of the near-death experience has shown that we will all have after our transition. Francis said from the other side, about 10 years before we even knew what a near-death experience was, so this is back in 65, 67, she said from the other side, we will review our life like two blueprints, the one showing what we could have done, and the other blueprint showing what we actually did. And there's a great difference between the two blueprints. And she said that for many of us, this life review is searing, S-E-A-R-I-N-G, searing, like being seared on a stove. And so people set out to do so much and they end up doing so little. And Francis spoke about how everyone, and that is everyone, Stalin, Hitler, everyone, will eventually make progress in this life review. But of course, they're starting at the bottom. Hitler, he's got a lot of thinking to do about what he could have done and what he did do. So how do you want that life review for you to be when you make your transition? Do you want it to be pleasant or unpleasant? Do you want it to be searing, or do you want it to be actually kind of fun because you did accomplish the things that you could? Well, maybe it would be good to evolve now, here in this life, so you can have more fun in that life review later on. What we do in that review is decide what we need to learn next. And we, the God within, look at where we are at, and then we plan our strategy for where we're going after that, whether we come back here or whether we stay over there. Those things we really can't prove scientifically, but we have a lot of beliefs about that, whether we reincarnate or we don't. But wherever we go, we're going to plan our own strategy. That's the thing that's important. And over there, the sky is not the limit. You can work up to anything and anywhere you want to go. And there are no competing egos trying to hold you back like there are here in the physical. Here we're sort of competing with every other ego around us. And we can work on our progress here and now, and we should get pretty excited about that, almost unable to sleep at night. How wonderful it is. It's that exciting. You can change you now, here. So now don't go home saying, gosh, I wish what Alan was saying was true. It is true. And I'm not talking about some pie in the sky salvation later on where someone else pays for it for you. It's what you do for yourself. I'm talking about right now, today, you have eternal life and you can evolve here and now. You can fix yourself. You can heal your brokenheartedness. You can touch other people's lives. You can be like Jesus or St. Francis. Nothing except your ego is holding you back. And it's true that your ego will be left behind along with your cadaver when you make your transition. But you have the option of forgetting that ego right now and going out and touching other people. And that's what Anka was talking about in the meditation, reaching out, loving, leaving your ego behind. And I have a story. The actress, you may know, Audrey Hepburn, the actress that you may know from Breakfast at Tiffany's or My Fair Lady, she was tall, but she was small physically. And that smallness in her physicality was because during her growth years as an adolescent, she lived in Holland when the Nazis occupied it during the Second World War. And there was a shortage of food, and she didn't get enough to eat. In fact, she starved. And so she's just smaller physically. And that lack of food stunted her growth, which gave her a very pixie-like look. And that was exactly what gave her an acting career. She had that look. And so even things which may seem terrible at first, like starving when you're trying to grow as an adolescent, may be the doorway to wonderful things like an acting career. That's what happened for her. But later, when Audrey had made millions of dollars from her movies, she volunteered to be an ambassador for UNICEF. The purpose of UNICEF is to feed starving children throughout the world. And her philosophy was love life, cherish it, be glad for each day you are given. Each day is a gift from the universe. She could have sat around complaining about having been starved as a child. Instead, she spread love, and she worked at bringing food to starving children throughout the world. We all have this opportunity to take what we have and put it back into the world. We have the same chance. We have the same gift every day of another day. Some of you in your gratitudes are saying, what a wonderful day it is. It's so beautiful. Every day is a gift given to you to use. Eternal progress is open to every living soul, including you. And it's open right now. So why wait for physical death? Start making progress now. And take these 7 spiritualist principles that I've been talking about and put them to use in your everyday life now and truly celebrate life. That's what we're talking about at Celebrate Life Community. And it's up to you to decide where you're going to go and what you're going to do and how you're going to evolve. And it's mostly about just opening up to life, to loving life, and sharing that love with everyone around you. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.